It's not what we have been, but what we're becoming. What will the work you are doing take you? Every move, every thought, and especially every action has a movement towards something or away from something. There is a drawing that eventually becomes a pulling and a pushing. Be careful what you're drawn to, because eventually it will be pulling and pushing you. Every thought, every step will take you in some direction, and there are only two directions in life. There's no neutral place. Someone may have told you. No resting place outside of these two directions. Even in your seemingly resting place, the momentum of your day, your life is still at work. There is no idle place, but just movement up and down. Every thought, every word, and again, most important, every action is slowly at first, but in time quickly affecting you, affecting your momentum, taking you to a destination. I don't want to say your destination because we always have a choice to change. You're not stuck in the direction you're going, is what I'm saying. First, it seems innocent decision you make, but in time, it becomes a raging train that is hard to stop. And some things only God can break the fall. We reach a point of no return sometime without divine intervention. Don't be fooled by the seemingly innocent of an act, but look at where it may take you. Look down the road of the harvest it might bring, because every planting brings a harvest. Every path has an end. Every seed, so small at first, doesn't look like much, but one day, if nurtured long enough, it will become a big oak tree, a full-grown crop. And what will that look like? What did you plant? I know it's said, don't turn down any good opportunity, but is it a good one, the opportunity? Look at who's leading the charge, because you will become like them. You're either moving towards God or away from Him. Again, there is no neutral place. Your mind, especially your unconscious mind, is constantly working 24/7 towards what you've been thinking and doing all day, and who you are doing it with. It's important. There is no innocence in any thought or action. They are all taking you somewhere, up or down. But they all have an effect, a purpose. Some for good, some for evil, but no middle ground. Can we have too much good? Is it really good in its essence? But be careful, for what disguise as evil can take at times, masquerading as good, but with evil intent. Certainly, we can fill up the wagon of truth at times, but falling is never the problem. But staying down is. I don't know what word that was. A good man can fall 7 times, but he gets up So falling is not a problem, but staying down is. Losing is not a problem, but staying a loser is. Back to momentum. Your constant daily practice are carrying you somewhere. Look closely over them to see where each day's routine is taking you, because they all are doing a work in you. And your life is a great experiment, a great adventure for some, but for others, the days and the weeks drag on. You can't wait for the end of the work week because their work disgusts them. But the weekend carries what they look for the weekend. The weeks move into the weekend. This never-ending chain of events, and I mean chains. What started out as work just to get by becomes your life's work that doesn't satisfy. Joy comes in the morning for those who have worked at good work, but all work is not equal. One work leads you down, lower and lower, less and less fulfilled, and another leads you up to higher and higher places. We are all on a path. We are all going somewhere. Either your personal choices or you've either personally chose where you're going, or you have given up your choice to someone else, and they will use your choice for their own good. So then choice you had turns out to put yourself in a slave position, slave to another, because you refuse to make choices. Others have chosen for you. You're either going to be captain of your own ship or a slave on someone else's big ship. You will be taken who knows where. But I would rather be in the hands of God than in the hands of a man. Most men are hirelings, not shepherds. One has no real care for you except what they can get out of you. But God is a shepherd, and he wants to get all he can give you. He's here to give you. Some men are fathers, but most are just hirelings. Most men are little concerned where you're going, but concerned where they're going. The difference between a shepherd and just an employee is huge. God is wanting us to look good, but most men are wanting to make themselves look good. It has been said that if you can get enough people to get what they want, that will get you what you want. But the attitude from the start, it seems like a manipulation. I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, as opposed to a shepherd's heart, a shepherd's way, the way of a father. Many teachers in this life, but few fathers. Father is trying to see what good he can put into you. A teacher is trying to see what he can get out of you. Both both teacher and father can come riding in on a white horse. But one has come to rescue you, and the other has come to use you. Some have come to serve you with a servant's heart. Others have come to eventually lord it over you. When one comes with no ulterior motives, but to help, to serve, it's quite different than just a hireling to see what they can get out of you. And we all have both in us. There's the father in us and there's the hireling in us. The question is, which way are you moving daily? Because you are moving in one direction or the other. It's funny, on people's deathbed, that they will often face the truth and are sorry for how they lived. But you don't have to wait until then. You can have a change of heart now. Like Cratchit in the Christmas Story, looked ahead to see where he was likely to end up the way he was going. If you keep doing what you're doing, you can change direction, so your destination will change. You're not destined for anything. You don't have a destiny plan out for you and it's already been decided. It's you. It's a daily choice that decides your outcome, not some predetermined plan. God sets you in motion to be like him and to make decisions. You have to make you automaton. If it's already set up, your future, with no choice, then you might as well, as Paul said, just drink and be merry. But it's not predetermined who you are or who you could be. It's in your hands to choose up or down, good or evil, God or Satan. There's not a third choice. It's one or the other in all you think and do. Are you a good steward or are you a bad one with the life God gave you? He doesn't make choices for you. Certainly, he gives us instruction, but he's not you. You are the decider of who you will follow. The results increase is in his hands, not yours. He brings the increase, not you. But you get to decide who you will follow. Godly ways or ungodly ways. No third or fourth option. You either think and live for good or bad. Yes, we all have both in us. But from that mess, which direction do you choose to go? We are not perfect and will never be in this life. But we do choose good. And when you fall, which we all do at times, and repent and get up, that's the important thing. Falling is not a problem. We all fall at times. But do we get right back up and repent and move on from there is the question. It's never what happens to you. It's what you're going to do about it. Again, I would rather be in the hands of a loving God than any man's hands. You are trying to see what you can put into this life. Are you trying to see what you can put into this life, or only what you can get out of this life? There are givers and takers in this life. We are both at times, but which one are you going towards? Which one do you practice more? What is greed? You take more than you deserve. You took more success than you put in. You became greedy. When large sums of money are involved, it's amazing how men who are so honest become greedy. Not all men, but many, even the majority. You don't have to have the greedy money. There's more than enough to go around. You don't have to worry about a shortage. If you operate from the position of shortage, then there won't be enough to go around. And that is away from God. Sure, you can plan and do some storage, some savings for your future, because this is wisdom. But to operate out of fear and shortage, if you see the world from the point of lack, is saying, I don't trust you, Lord. And it's more downhill. We act like we made our wealth. We act like we made our wealth without God. And we lean on it instead of God. So the wealth God allowed you to have, because he's the one that brought the increase. Now you have made money your God. The wealth that could have been for good becomes evil. Wealth in itself is not good or evil. It's just a thing, a product, a thing. It doesn't have any inherent value except for what we give it. Wealth has no power over you to save or not to save you. Only God has. But some have come to think that their money can save them, but it can't. They have worshipped at a false god called money. Wealth is a tool for good or evil. It has no inherent power of good or evil in it. Now, if we start worshipping money and wealth, eventually evil spirits will come along and get involved in the story and start moving you towards the worship of the thing of wealth and lead you to dark places where now the demons have teamed up with you or against you because of your bad decision. And this goes to say idol. And this goes to say about any idol you worship. Some people worship science, leaving God out. Eventually, the seemingly innocent surrender draws all kinds of demons, powers, and now they're deep in it, deep trouble. And if you think not, look how they crucify anyone who tries to leave their evil congregation. It's a congregation, a bunch of believers idolizing science over God. They bow to the altar of science, which is just another false god, just another idol. We cannot idolize anyone, because if we make an idol out of them, then we've decided to go down the road which never ends well. Sure as the demons gather behind an idol, they help your wealth in some cases, but wealth from demons behind an idol is pure evil goods that will carry you away even further. Be on the lookout for wolves in sheep's clothing. They can fool you maybe for a short while, but in a few days, their true colors will come out. Even Paul, when this woman who followed him around for a few days and kept praising Paul till God realized it was a demon behind her. He didn't get it right away, so we'll miss it for a little bit. But evil can't hide for long. Its fruits start to appear, and then you know who you've been trusting in. There is only one we can put all our trust in, even more than trust in ourselves. The one who loves us more than we love ourselves. And that, my friend, is only God.